A man who is not what he wants to be, but is way grateful that he's not who he used to be. Here's the Kevin!
All right, welcome aboard, friends. I cannot express to you how grateful I am to be back. It is always wonderful to get away and to be with the family and to do the things that you have families to do. The reason that you have a family is so that you can spend time with them. The reason that you have a family and you raise kids is so that you can shape their hearts and souls for the good of this world and not contribute to the emotional pollution of the future generations. The purpose of raising families is a good and holy and godly thing, and to have some time away to just get to be with them, friends, it was a sweet season for the McCulloughs. We did a fun little bucket list trip. Don't know if we'll ever be able to do it again. I hope so. In fact, we've got a little ebook that we're going to offer to people if you want to see where we went and literally see some of the great photography of what we saw and captured and everything for you. It's you can just send me an email, thatkevinshow@gmail.com, and just put Italy book in the subject line, and we'll make sure that you get a copy for free. It's going to be more than 500 photos of the trip are going to be in there. And Italy book in the subject line, thatkevinshow.com will get it to you. But I am always one of those guys that loves to come back. I come back recharged. I come back with greater focus on why I think what I do at this microphone is so important. I want to make sure that the world that I leave for that family that I am busy raising and that I am thankful to be able to raise, I want to make sure that that world deals with them as fairly and as justly as possible. And I used to say, I want to leave it better off than I found it. I'm not sure that that's possible anymore. The world is so corrupt. The world is going to hell in a handbasket so fast. It's hard for me to completely fathom or understand, what they're going to face in the years to come. But I do know this. I do know that spending time with my family gives me a better outlook on why I do what I do. And so I come back and I fight harder for them. And that's what we're going to be about. You've heard the big news today. Donald Trump invoking a power that the White House has exclusively to take over law enforcement control of the nation's capital. Brilliant piece of planning there by the founding fathers, by the way. I couldn't believe when he had his press conference today, I couldn't believe all of the negative Nellies that came out complaining about how it's going to be a military takeover, and this is a militarization of our country, and this is the act of a dictator trying to. Are you guys nuts? Are you absolutely out of your mind? Anybody that has been to Washington, D.C. anytime in the last 20 years, you know that the beautiful area of Washington, D.C. is the area around the monuments, around the Washington Memorial, the White House, the Congress, the Supreme Court. You know that the beautiful places of that city are all right there in that region. Because outside of those areas, it's a toilet. It is a disastrous, crime-ridden, infested, murder rate through the roof, crime rate 200% worse than most of the rest of the country. It is a complete no man's land in some places. You don't walk down certain streets any time of day if you're of one race or another because of what might occur. Even if you're the same race and you're a different gang. I cannot believe that people are complaining and crying about this, but I will say this. The president's going to do something about it, and he's going to do it the right way. And I was thinking this morning, I was listening to my friend Mike Gallagher, and I was reflecting upon how he was kind of processing the news. And I was asking myself a very important question. For everyone that is so against, and it's tiring, everything Donald Trump does is like the worst thing that's ever been done. And friends, you know the way it works. If everything is the worst thing, then none of it's the worst thing. But supposedly, this is going to be the worst thing and I thought to myself, how much do you have to absolutely hate and despise the poorest of the poor, the most susceptible of the most susceptible, to be victims of crime, to be the victims of the perpetrators, the perps, reign of terror over their lives? How much do you have to hate those people to say that when an elected leader has the power to change a neighborhood and take it from a crime-ridden ghetto and turn it into an actual lovable place to live, how much do you have to hate the people that live there to say, no, we're not going to let the elected leader who's elected to solve these problems, we're not going to let the elected leader solve this problem because you don't deserve safety. You don't deserve a proper way of life. How much do you have to hate poor people? How much do you have to hate black people, Latin people, others that are in these neighborhoods surrounding Washington, D.C.? How much do you absolutely want to see them sentenced to the worst existence in the country? Because that's what it is. You drive through the outer rings of D.C., it is a ghetto. It is a toilet. It is a crime-filled, crime-ridden, crime war most days. Get into the area where the monuments are. That's pretty. It's very nice. You stay in a hotel. You go see your cutesy little things. You learn about history. You go home. You're never even aware of the problem. This president, unlike many presidents in both parties that came before him, actually care about those people. He cares that the single mom living in the 5th floor walk-up has a safe place for her son to come home to after school in the afternoon. He cares about the people that are living in these susceptible neighborhoods. And he wants to see it stopped. So he's invoked a constitutionally given power to the president to take over the law enforcement activities of Washington, D.C. This is something that our founders put in the very founding of our country, or when we moved the capital to Washington, that they gave the president the ability to do this, and now he's doing it. And I think that's a wonderful, incredible, magnificent thing for an elected leader to do. Because you've had mayor after mayor after mayor, and you've had president after president after president who has chosen to not do anything about it in the last many election cycles. So if the mayor's not going to do it, if the city council's not going to do it, if whoever else is empowered, the former presidents, whoever has the power, the police commissioners, whoever has the power, if they're choosing not to do it, not to make it a safer place, then how can you criticize the guy that's elected and has the ultimate power to try to clean it up and make it safe? How can you criticize that guy? He cares about those people. I care about those people. And for that reason, I'm happy that today he announced that this was the liberation of D.C. Day. I have to say, we in New York are spoiled. We have the greatest police force on the planet. They take good care of us. That is not the case in Washington, D.C. Kevin McCullough, so glad you're here. Stay with us. It's a big show straight ahead.